Alright, welcome to the pre-game week 14 video. So actually this is just going to be a game week 14 video, and I've abandoned the plans to do a pre and post video. The reason for that is because I believe I want to get the information as concise as possible and avoid the need of two videos when I can actually summarize all the information in one. So let's get started. Now, this week kicks off with a Villa and Watford, with the 3 o'clock games, and Villa, I've got to say, performed quite bad against Everton away. Like I said, Remy Gard is not known as a defensive coach, and I think those frailties were exposed against Everton. Watford, on the other hand, they almost got a very courageous point of Manchester United, and it would have been fully deserved based on their second half performance. However, I think, a bit of, how would you say, inexperience at the end cost them, because, really, if you've equalised near the end of the game, you should really settle for it, considering Watford's position. And it was disappointing because I think that in general, Watford actually played very well throughout the game. It's just they got caught out a few times, and Man United did have chances in the game, but so did Watford. Watford looked promising, and it was a poor tackle from Rojo to give them a penalty, and good conversion from Dini there. So in terms of this game, I think Villa are very much under pressure. 1 point from 4 points from 3 games now. Since Romy Gard has been involved. I know that he didn't take the team in control against Tottenham away, but since Sherwood has been sacked, Villa have not exactly improved. And Watford, on the other hand, I think despite the slip up, you could say, against Manchester United, I think they target the next 3 games coming up as 3 very important games and teams again around them in the league. Look, the basic fact is, I wouldn't be surprised if any one of these teams won it, and if there was to be a draw. But if you had to base it on form and consistency, you would say Watford. But it wouldn't surprise me if Remy Gard, this is a game where his attacking traits really showed out in this game. Second game is Bournemouth and Everton, and as you guys know, I told you guys to look at Barclays, and he got 19 points. I didn't take my own advice, but it won't be necessary that I would take my own advice. In the sense that I might be playing a higher risk, or at the end of the day, I like to think that everyone plays this game for some fun and hopefully aims to get some league titles and a high percentage relatively in this game. But Barkley did great. Lukaku did great. Bournemouth, to be honest, I think they did very well against Swansea away. They were 2-0 ahead. They really should have aced the game, really. I think they were the better team, if you ask me. And in terms of players to look at, Gosling and Stanislas are valued very low. And at the moment, Bournemouth fixtures are not ideal. But Gosling does get chances from the games I've seen, from the game when Bournemouth played Southampton away. Since then, and at that price, if Bournemouth fixtures get better, which they do in about 4 or 5 weeks, he's someone to look at. Everton, it's the same players that I've mentioned from before, and no, Bournemouth are actually now a good football side. I see them play football. They pass it very good, and Everton, on the other hand, are on top form, in my opinion. So this is a game which it can go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's a part of me that thinks that Bournemouth might get something here. So yeah, Palace and Newcastle. Look, I think Palace, they had chances against the Sunderland game, and it's a classic. You do one mistake and you get punished by the opposition, and that's exactly what happened against Palace. On Monday night. Newcastle, on the other hand, look, I would have expected better performance, and I think defensively there's a lot of frailties. The way Vardy, Colaccini and Member, not exactly a really good defending for the first goal at all, and there's been reports of bust up between Steve McClaren and Colaccini. Either way, a very bad result for Newcastle. I think against Newcastle, but I'm sorry, against Leicester. But Leicester at the moment are, top of the league. In terms of this game, I'll be very surprised if Palace lost this game. I don't think they will lose 2 in a row. And with Pardew against his former team, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, really, if Palace played a natural game, I only see one result, and that's a Palace win. Man City and Southampton. Now, Man City losing against Liverpool was a bit of a shock. But was it really? Well, without company, without some key players, and looking at the pace, I would say the interchange play between Firmino and Coutinho really stood out and caught Man City out. So, to be honest, they had nothing to complain in regards to the game. I like Manuel Pellegrini said, it was a fake game, a fake result in a way, and I kind of understand him there, but I think he would be disappointed that the result was so in favour of Liverpool. In terms of Southampton, I think a managerial mistake to leave some key players out for the game against Stoke, which they lost at home. Leaving Mane on the bench, frankly, Mane is one of the best players for Southampton defensively in what he offers, and I think that's considering they don't have any UEFA Cup games as well. Like they got knocked out, it's just ridiculous in my head why he was dropped. Either he doesn't have any injuries, he's maybe played it as squad rotation, but even then, it still doesn't make sense. With Pele suspended and Man City, I think slowly getting players back. I think Man City will win this game. Sunderland and Stoke. Yeah, I mean, look, end of the day, if you look at Jones from Sunderland, he's been doing quite well, getting a few assists, favoured in the bonuses, but I mean, I don't expect Sunderland to keep many clean sheets, but Allardyce has, maybe changed things around. Who knows? Stoke, on the other hand, they've had some decent results, and despite against some very tough opposition, they managed to get some clean sheets. And I think Welshard is a player that people have been getting in, although he has a knock. In terms of this game, it can go either way. This is such an open game. It's quite crazy, and I wouldn't like to call this. The 5:30 game is for the current top two teams, which is Leicester, Manchester United. And last season, we all know what happened in this game. Leicester ran riot, in the second half, and won the game. And that was Vardy's best game last season, and now he's had 10 games in a row where he's essentially performed. Look, I do think Leicester will win this game. I really do. I just don't see it. I've seen Manchester United play several times. I think the pace, if Leicester play how they play, then I think they'll win this game. If they start playing thinking they're top and they can start for a draw, that's where I think they'll get caught. And I think Manchester United will win the game that way. But potential bad news for Man United fans with Lingard possibly 50-50 for the game, which is a big blow, I think, because I think he's been pretty good for them. And Leicester, on the other hand, have got the key players and should be an entertaining game. In terms of Sunday, we've got Spurs and Chelsea, and last season this was a very, very entertaining game. This for game this season, however, it's a different tale. Chelsea near the bottom of the table, frankly, and Spurs, near the top. And I think if Spurs win this game, I think it really crushes Chelsea big time, because I think it just says, okay, look, you guys have really shown that you guys have consistently not been able to get results, and it's a big blow. But if Chelsea win this game, for me, it says, okay, they're back in top four race. I really think that's the meaning of this kind of result. So it should be a very good game. Hopefully, I plan to watch this game. It should be a good game to watch. So that's all I will say. In regards to West Ham, West Brom, West Ham, I actually had Kane captain for the entire game week until the last second when I changed it to Hazard, purely because of risk reasons, And Hazard actually had a good game, but obviously, I thought West Ham were going to concede goals from Kane, and I was right. Maybe in hindsight, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have taken that much risk, but at the end of the day, it was a decision that I took. Now, West Ham against West Brom obviously beat Arsenal, and they would consider themselves quite lucky in my opinion, but 3 points is 3 points, and at the moment, I think for West Brom that's 3 bonus points. I think West Brom will approach this game as Tony Pulis actually wants them to, and West Ham I think need to really come back from that bad game against Spurs. Like I said, I think they will have a pretty bad few months without Payet. I don't think West Ham are the same team without him, and Lanzini is someone to look at. At the value he is, maybe he will be taking Payet's role, but I still think West Ham will struggle in these upcoming months. In terms of result, can go either way, and maybe a draw looks likely. With Liverpool and Swansea, I think Swansea are really struggling, and I actually see Liverpool in this game, and I think with Liverpool it's a question of what can they actually do this season, because they've beaten Chelsea away, they've beaten Man City away, they've drawing against Arsenal away when, okay, maybe Arsenal had a legitimate goal which wasn't given, but they could have won that game as well. So Liverpool have somewhat performed, in some big away games this season. Now, it wouldn't surprise me. Classic Liverpool fans will tell you this, that they slip up at home and like they did against Palace, and I think it's very important that Liverpool, for one, keep a clean sheet. I think they've been really strong to keep a clean sheet, and maybe they won't, but I think that's a problem for them. They don't hardly see them win games by one goal, and I think they are over reliant in the strike. In the sense that they need to score more than one goal to beat oppositions, and that could be a problem, especially if Coutinho's not fit. But judging by what people are saying, looks like he'll be back. Sturridge looks like he might be back along with Benteke. So Liverpool look like they have options, and it's going to be interesting to see what Jurgen Klopp's first 11 is. Lastly, that's Norwich against Arsenal, and Arsenal come back from a good Champions League victory. Norwich, on the other hand, there's not really much to say in regards to Norwich. They've lost 1-0 away against Chelsea. They kept Chelsea on bay for quite a long time, but and they had chances. Norwich actually had chances throughout the game. They just didn't really look like they were going to actually score. That was a problem. Arsenal should win this game, but if Arsenal have a performance like they did against West Brom, then anything is possible. So yeah, in terms of my team last week, I'm sure some of you guys might have seen it. For the guys that have been in the fantasy league, but yeah, like I mentioned, I captained Hazard instead of Kane. I changed that last second, so that was a bad move. In terms of individual players, yeah, because I think some defining points has been throughout the season is captain choices for me and penalty misses. I had Kolarov and would have got the assist from Sterling. He missed the penalty against Norwich at home. I had Cazorla and Sanchez would have got the assist. Instead of gaining some points, I lost some points because Cazorla missed the penalties. So I think for the first 13 game weeks, I've been quite unlucky. So I'm hoping that my fortunes will change, possibly, and maybe I should adopt the policy of less risk. I think rather than really going for it and going for a very, very kind of different captain choices to what most people will be doing for a particular game week, maybe I should just stick with the basics. In regards to particular players that I think people will be facilitating in their teams, now Aguero, I think his value has already gone up to 13.1. Someone to look at, definitely 100%. And I think, he's definitely worth looking at. I got Hazard for the game week, and it's a risk, but I think I've given him this next 3-4 game weeks. And if he doesn't perform, I don't think I'll look at him for the entire season. Other players to mention. Now, I've mentioned a few players at Bournemouth that I think are worth looking at later on in the future. I've mentioned players in Everton. Liverpool, Firmino is worth around 8.1, so he's a very good player to look at, and so is Coutinho. They're valued near the same. But I think you should wait for Liverpool players because I don't know exactly what the first 11 will be when Sturridge and Benteke is back. In regards to Arsenal do have players coming back. Chamberlain looks like he's back. Ramsey looks like he's coming back. And Walcott's not too far away as well. So you might not want to rush on too many transfers in one go. And I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching my video, guys. And please do join the Fantasy Football League if you haven't. And do leave any feedback in regards to the video. And good luck for the game week.